how does this compute? How is it that those who are pro-life are just as pro-death penalty? You want to take that one?
Right. Pro-life for the innocent. But it should also be pro-life for the guilty. Everybody is for the innocent. I think when you can take the higher level, pro-life for even the guilty, I think you are taking a higher level, and that's the road that we need to be on.
Well, and there are some very thoughtful people in this state. We've had legislators who believe very strongly that only a God can determine whether somebody should live or should die, and those people may come out against abortion because they believe that killing of an unborn is murder and that's wrong, but some of those people adhere to a morally consistent view that it would be wrong to kill a living person as well.
Right.
And I think that's a committed religious philosophical view that it's hard to argue with.
And Shannon, one point we should make, Alaskans against the death penalty have been fighting a death penalty coming back to Alaska for 15 years. And our supporters and legislators have been nonpartisan. There have been pro-life people that understand the moral issues. There have been conservatives who understand the financial issues and the costs involved. So it's been really nonpartisan, and those in the legislature who have been educated about the death penalty and brave enough not just to be trying to get votes, they've been on our side in this effort.
I've had this conversation with Bob Lenn, who is very anti-choice, and he's also anti-death penalty, which I'm able to have a different discussion with him than I am some other people who are screaming for war and for the death penalty and want to be the uterus police the rest of the time. If I'm opposed to abortion for any reason, how can I support publicly funded abortion of a life via capital punishment? I think we got that. How has the privatization of our prisons affected the death penalty? The prison lobby is the reason for a huge percentage of our population being imprisoned.
I don't know how privatization has really affected the death penalty. I mean, I don't think there's any private prisons that have a death row. It's all been state-run prisons to my knowledge. But what they have done, I mean, Alaska is a perfect example of the many prisoners we've sent down to Arizona that have gotten,
in Colorado
and everywhere, and they've gotten minimum supervision, no rehabilitation, very little medical care, and they don't even hire the staff that we pay for, us Alaskans pay for. That's one of the things that's been pointed out in the ACLU report about the prison system and all the people that we send down south when their family may be from rural Alaska.
Right, right, and that just tears up people too, not just the people going in. And I know what my dad would say, well, you should have thunk of that before you did it. Well, you know.
Most crime is committed by people who aren't thinking at the moment they commit
That's
crime.
the point. If Alaska doesn't enact a death penalty, should it be applied to hate crimes like gay bashing? If so, then any bigot shooting at me best shoot straight because I shoot back. Oh, good. Nice. I think the point was, yeah, and I know who wrote this, the point is no death penalty. The other point is no hate crimes.
We have plenty of harsh penalties without having the death penalty, believe me. So,
we believe we have the best system of justice in the world. Is there any justification for the effort to keep the alleged 9/11 terrorists out of our federal court systems? Oh, this is curious. You know?
I don't know. I think our court system has worked in other terrorism cases. I don't see why it wouldn't work in these cases.
I have an answer.
What is your answer?
My answer is this. If our court case or our justice system can't handle the 9/11 terrorists, then the terrorists win. Yes, of course we can handle it. Good Lord. Why isn't it considered murder when we put people to death by execution? Why are the executioners exempt? And how do we put them in that position?
Well, I mean, when the death penalty has been in front of the legislature in years past, I mean, the sort of public opinion message that I send my legislator is that a civilized society does not condone the intentional killing of a human being. And as far as I'm concerned, it's true whoever's doing the killing.
We last year we had as a speaker a chaplain from death row in Texas, and he was able to describe the personal cost of the people who run the prisons and death row, how much it costs the guards and the wardens and the chaplain personally to be part of that system. And it was really compelling testimony he gave up here to the public.
Well, I have to say that the first time that I really became involved in a death penalty case on any level of like sending a letter and making phone calls was Carla Faye Tucker in Texas. And that was when I first learned about George W. Bush and his whole, please don't kill me, please don't, mocking this woman who didn't want to be put to death. And, you know, I think it's incumbent upon human beings to participate and to contact other states, and not just for the people that they're putting to death, but certainly I can't imagine somewhere right now, obviously we know Carla Faye Tucker's no longer living, but somewhere the guy who pulled that lever is. And how is that for him? Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was better for him than we think. Do you believe there are people who are beyond redemption? If so, what does society do with them? We elect them to office. Oh, I guess now's not the time to say I'm running for anything. We elect them as the mayor. No, I'm sorry, or the governor. I think there are people that are beyond redemption. I don't think you take them out behind the shed and shoot them. I think that there are places where you can put people where they're not going to be a danger to society, and that's what you do with them.
And if anybody, I mean, there's this perception in the public that people who are doing long prison sentences are in some kind of a camp or, you know, something like that. They should visit our maximum security prisons in this state, in this country. It is just, there's no way, there are many people on death row who asked to be executed because life in prison in a maximum security prison is so tough. So it's not like...
or how about the people that try to kill themselves and then they revive them so they can kill them? Like what? No, you don't get to do that. We're going to do that.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that is the most messed up thing. It just happened the other day. This guy had been saving pills, apparently, tried to OD on him, and they revived him so they could kill him. I'm just like... Really, that's like hitting someone with your truck and then backing back over them. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
You're right.
And I will tell you this, if they put the food that they have in prison in the brochure of prison, you wouldn't want to go there. It's disgusting. Do you think there's people that are beyond redemption?
I don't believe that's our decision to make. Put them in prison for the rest of their life, if that's what's necessary. Let their creator make that decision.
I believe that there are people who are highly unlikely to live in accordance with society's rules, and that most of us would be well served if they stayed locked up for the rest of their lives. But we have lots of prisons that are very effective at doing that.
Yeah, and it seems to me that the majority of people that go into prison, I mean, there is help for them. I mean, if you actually funded it. There's a few crimes, like, I don't know, being a kitty fiddler, that it seems like people don't really get over, and those people, you can lock them up and throw away the key. A reason not to have the death penalty with the known and unknown corrupt bastards club in our state. I cannot concur with giving them this power. And they wrote, treatment can work. It did it for me. Well, good on you.
That was my question.
No, this is a really interesting question, because we have seen oil taxes bought and sold. We've seen them influenced by corporations, the oil companies. What's to say that this practice couldn't be corrupted too? And that is why you can't appeal someone who's been dead and buried. So anyway, that's my take on that.
It was a rhetorical question, yes.
Yeah, that's there. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I know that this bill in Juneau is going to be coming through. They're trying to push it through and get some election points and whatever. And I feel really lucky as an Alaskan that you guys are all here and fighting this.
And let's thank Curtis for coming up here and educating everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back next week with more Up North. Yeah.